microphone.
I need the mic.
You need the microphone. All right, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I got a lot to talk about this week.
Oh, good.
I know. I'm excited about it. Should we start off with our drink?
Yes. You're already drinking it.
It's pretty delicious. So today we thought we would really fit in with the Christmas spirit, seeing as how it is December 1st. And we are having some hot chocolate and Baileys.
It's very good. We went very basic with ours, which is how I personally like it.
Me too.
But you can make it like real festive because you can do a rim of like sprinkles,
Or
you can
chocolate
like
with candy
Yes,
canes.
you can like crush up candy canes and do that as a rim. Whipped cream.
I've also seen with like, you know, different like Grand Marnier and do
Yeah.
like a chocolate orange hot chocolate. So we just did good old fashioned powdered hot chocolate with Baileys.
Yeah.
Pretty darn delicious.
That's how I like it.
That's how I like it too. You know what also is really good is a polar bear, which is hot chocolate with either creme de menthe or like a peppermint vodka.
Peppermint schnapps.
Peppermint schnapps, anything peppermint.
Yeah.
Yum. I'm also really excited about December 1st because it's officially my first day of my Lindt advent calendar.
Wow.
Jeremy got this for me about a week ago and it's just been sitting on my
I'm surprised you haven't dug into it
Oh,
already.
I've been thinking about it. It's been sitting on my dining room table and I keep thinking I can just have it now and then I just won't have it for the first few days of December. And every day I'm like, it's November 30th. Like it's practically December 1st. I could wait till midnight and then just eat it. And then I said to myself, no, you cannot do that.
No.
You need to have willpower. So I've waited and now it's December 1st. So I'm eating it.
On camera?
Yeah, I'm going to try and rip it open.
On the podcast?
Yeah, but I'm going to slowly rip it open while we talk so that I'm not like taking my time to like do that right now. So
Okay.
we'll just fill this time.
Well, I've got market stats.
Market stats.
It's
Okay, yes.
December 1st.
Go with the
and
market
have
stats. I will open up my
market
advent calendar.
stats. Okay, so Nanaimo market stats. I'm only going to do Nanaimo. The average price of a single family home is $889,272.
Dear Lord. $889.
$889. Yeah. Yep. That is up 36% over last year. That's crazy. There were 91 units listed I didn't say November. This is November's market stats. Okay. There was 91 units listed and 100 sold. So that's 110% of the listings that hit the market.
110%.
Yeah.
These numbers are insane.
Yeah, I know. Average days on market, 19.
What?
Well,
really?
It gets a little bit skewed because of houses that are subject to probate.
Okay.
Because those will appear as active for like 2 months,
I
3
see.
months, whatever.
Right.
So I mean, that's not super accurate.
What was like, do you know what the average time on the market was prior to COVID, like prior to all of this crazy stuff happening?
Not off the top of my head, but I can definitely pull that.
Okay.
But that days on market 19, that's down 42% from last year.
Okay, so I mean, you know, so that's significantly different when you think about that.
It is.
Okay.
That's crazy. I'll just finish this up here. The average price of a townhome, $569,677.
I couldn't imagine spending that amount of money on a townhouse. That's almost as much as we spend for this house.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
I know.
Because usually townhouses are, you know, 2-3 bedrooms, maybe 4 bedrooms.
Yeah, there's a small amount of 4-bedroom townhomes.
Absolutely.
Here.
You know,
Yeah.
so for a 2 or 3 bedroom house, 569,000.
Yep. That's an increase of 28% over last year. There was 15 units listed in November. That's not that many.
15. No, that's
15.
not.
There was 38 sold. And then 13 days on the market. That is down 73%.
That's insane.
It's
Sorry, how
insane.
many days on the market?
13.
I was very excited about getting my number 1 door open for my advent calendar. 13 days, like just under 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's an average. So that just goes to show you all those stories that you hear of people that are like, oh, my house sold within 2 days. That means it's happening to a lot of different people.
Yeah, almost everyone.
Yeah.
And the average price of a condo, $474,521. That's
crazy.
an increase in 50%. Like what? 50%?
I know.
33 units listed, 38 units sold. Average days on market, 19. That's a decrease of 59%.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's only going up from here, right? Because we had talked about how October last year was kind of when we started noticing that it was starting to increase a little bit.
Yeah.
And so now, as we move into the new year, we're only going to see these
stats
numbers
are going to get wilder and wilder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we start to see these crazy, I mean, it's still happening. Multiples are still happening. Crazy prices are still happening. Absolutely.
It's gotten worse.
Well, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I want to talk about Selling Sunset a little bit. But one thing that I noticed that they were talking about on the first episode even was just about how crazy the market is, how many offers that they're getting. They had 50 offers on one house.
Yeah.
Houses are selling for $1 million over asking price. It's not just here. It's not just Canada.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. We'll get into Selling Sunset a little bit later. I've got some
There's lots of
opinions.
other stuff that we need to talk about first because that's just going to be a whole section. One thing I really do want to mention is if you haven't read your Nanaimo News Bulletin today for December 1st, you need to either go pick one up, steal one from your neighbors, or subscribe to the news bulletin because Pac Rim is on the front page this week.
Wow.
So we have a really lovely front page ad. And then as well, when you open up the front page, we have the whole back page ad.
Amazing.
I'm very excited. So we've never done that before. We decided that for December, we would kind of go big and do a little Merry Christmas and showcase some of our products that we have going on there. So please take a look. Send us a picture if you saw it in the news bulletin. Tag us on Instagram. That would be really awesome. I'm super excited about that. So I'm really excited to see what the response is from people in Nanaimo.
That's awesome.
I know. Just a reminder too that we do have lots of stocking stuffers, things like different sauces, marinades, spices, rubs, that kind of stuff. So really good for the chef in your family. There's we've got a new bird brine. It's like a poultry brine, really good for turkeys and chickens, and it's called Area 51. So it's like a top secret recipe. Apparently, it's made by a company called Suckle Busters, and apparently they like sell out every single year.
Suckle Busters.
I know, which is I really just like saying that more than anything. So I guess they sell out every year of this bird brine. So I'm really excited that we're carrying it because it sounds really delicious and it comes with everything that you need inside to brine. Yeah, I bought one. I really want to try it. I'm going to try it this weekend, I think. I'm not going to do a turkey, but I'm going to do 2 like frying chickens, and I'm going to try the brine on both of them and see how it goes.
Cool.
I've never brined anything before.
No, me either.
So I'm kind of excited about the whole process. And I've heard that brining a turkey or chicken is amazing.
Yeah.
My mouth is watering just thinking about it. So I'm like really looking forward to that. So yeah. Anyways, how is work going?
Work is like really crazy. I've just been glued to the MLS every single day and there's like not a lot coming up.
Yeah.
So now's a good time to sell. If you're looking to sell, give me a call.
As always, we need more
I've got
sellers.
1 million people who want to buy your house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Long list of people that are waiting.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we've even talked about it. Sorry. We've even talked about it just with how the market is because there's houses selling for over $1 million in our neighborhood. So then it's hard not to kind of get on that train where it's like, well, I want to sell for double what I paid, you know, but then I don't want to buy back into this market, so I don't want to do that. And I would assume a lot of people are thinking the same way.
I've talked to so many people that are on the fence and they're like, where am I going to go? What am I going to buy? There's nothing to buy. So,
or even people that want to downsize, you know, older people that want to downsize. Well, they can't afford to be buying these ridiculously priced houses, right? So then what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, but I mean, the condo market is not as competitive.
That's true.
So, I mean, if you're looking to downsize from a house into a condo, then it's a good time. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I never thought about that, I guess. Especially people that have probably owned their house for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, they're selling, they're making a decent amount of money on it. They could easily use that money to probably pay off a good chunk of a condo, for instance, or even a townhouse so that their mortgage isn't as much. That's a good idea. Yeah, I never thought of that. You're so smart, Allie.
I know.
No wonder you're my realtor. Also, the Bald Guy Real Estate Group is looking for a new admin assistant.
Yes, we are.
So if anybody is looking to, get into it, being an admin assistant or is an admin assistant looking for a change, or you know of anybody, check out the Bald Guy Real Estate Group.
Yes. We're really great people to work with. It's a really fun job, and experience is not necessary. So
Yeah, I can attest to, obviously, you're my best friend, but I obviously know everybody that works in your office as well. And just dealing with you as a client, I can absolutely attest to, you guys are so much fun, energetic, very honest, genuine, fun people. You're hardworking. I just love your whole team.
Oh.
So I
Thank you.
very much, give my, I don't even know, approval, I guess, for anybody who's looking to come and work for you. I'd say it'd be a really great office to work for sure.
Definitely.
So, plus, getting into an EXP Realty as well, right? Getting to maybe see that different side of the real estate market, because not every brokerage or firm, or is that what it's called in Canada? Is a brokerage? Yeah. Okay. Not every brokerage is an EXP brokerage. Nope. So not every brokerage is doing kind of more of the virtual style of real estate.
Exactly. Yeah. There's some
that's
really
also
cool
kind of cool
things that we're doing over at EXP. So
that's different. It's funny, ever since you got into EXP, I had never heard of that before. And now that I've heard of that, I notice more and more realtors on the island that are part of EXP.
The biggest teams in Nanaimo are with EXP.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay, I just want to shift gears, 'cause I have a couple of things that I just wanted to mention. One, I posted about this on my Instagram the other day, but I've noticed this again. So I got a package delivered the other day by UPS, and I owed duty on it. So I'm like, okay. So I guess when you can call and you can pay for it over the phone, but as soon as you call, it says, oh, if you go online or onto our app, your charges might be less. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Weird, but all right. So I get the app. They make you make an account. Your password has to be 12 digits long.
Oh my God.
Which is ridiculous.
And you all know how we feel about passwords.
Okay, I'm sorry, but my bank doesn't even require a 12-digit password.
God,
so I don't
ridiculous.
have a 12-digit password for anything. And all of my passwords are still capital, lowercase, symbol, number, all that kind of stuff. But 12 digits for a UPS? Who's breaking into my UPS account? Okay. So then I go through the app, I do the whole thing, I pay for my duties, and then they wanted to deliver my package the next day, but I'm at work. So I call them to try and see, can I pick it up? And the guy goes, oh, I noticed that you have import charges that you still have to pay. And I said, oh no, I just paid those. So it probably just hasn't updated in your system. And he's like, well, no, I see that you paid $68.74, but you were supposed to pay $70.33. And I said, I was like, yeah, I don't really know. I just logged in. I paid what it asked me to pay. And he goes, yeah, you paid that, but you still owe us $70.33. And I said, no, I can see on my account, it says my import charges are clear. No problem. He goes, oh, you have to pay both amounts. And I said, no, there's nothing on my end that shows that I have to pay both amounts. So he kept trying to go with this with me. And I just was like, okay, there's something wrong here. And then he goes, I'm going to put you on hold for one moment. And then a woman comes back and she's like, oh, I hear you're having some problems with your import charges. And I said,
not really.
Well, I'm not having any problems with my import charges. You guys are. She's like, oh, no, you don't owe anything. And I'm like, okay, great. So can I pick up my package now? It was so ridiculous.
I literally would have been like, okay, great. So I'll pay that $70 as soon as I get off the phone with you. But can you answer my question, please?
Exactly. But what I didn't want to pay it because I knew that I would then have to get a refund, and I knew it would be a problem getting a refund.
I wouldn't have paid that either.
So then yesterday, Jeremy and I wanted to go see a movie, and I wanted to buy the tickets online. Well, Cineplex makes you make an account, and you have to have a 12-digit password. And I was like, what is it with these accounts? Who's breaking into my Cineplex? Come on. That's ridiculous. But we went and saw House of Gucci last night.
Oh, is it good?
It was really good.
Oh.
I don't really know the story of like the Gucci family or the Gucci brand or
No, me
anything
neither.
like that. So I really only knew what I kind of seen in the trailer. So I learned a lot. It was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And they packed a lot of stuff into that hour and a half movie.
Wow.
It was really, really well done. I definitely suggest going to see it. I don't know if it's really a theater movie per se, but I definitely suggest watching it. It was so funny because we're about, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes into the movie maybe. And Jeremy goes, she really looks like Lady Gaga. And I was
What?
like, it is Lady Gaga.
He didn't know.
No. And I started,
Oh my God.
I started killing myself laughing. And then he's like, shut up. Like, you're shut up. You're laughing. And I'm like,
Yeah, I know,
Jeremy,
I'm laughing.
it's come on. It's so clearly Lady Gaga.
Oh
Like,
my
do you
God.
not know anything about this movie? It was
Okay.
good.
You know, can I say something really funny?
Yeah.
Because you're making fun of Jeremy right now. Kurt thinks, that's my boyfriend. Kurt thinks that all we do is get on here and talk shit about him and
Our
Jeremy.
husbands.
Yeah.
Because that's our whole podcast is people just
Like,
listening to
you
us
think people
talking
would
shit
listen to
about our
that?
husbands.
But he's not
People
willing
probably
to.
would.
He's not willing to listen to it to like prove
To find out.
To find out now.
And that's what, because when he
No.
kind of brought that up, I was like, well, have you even listened
Yeah,
to
he's
any
like,
of our
no.
episodes?
I'm like, okay, well, if you
And
did, you
know
would
what?
know.
Then why do you even care? If you don't even listen, then why do you care if we talk shit about you or not? Jeremy hasn't listened to any of them either.
No, it'd be weird if they did.
I'm fine with it, but like maybe we should talk shit about them more because who else are we going to talk shit about them to if it's not to our listeners? Okay, another thing that really bothered me this week, I've been noticing, you know, like you see people on Facebook that are like, oh, it's Christmas time. Buy my coffee mugs or buy my hoodies or whatever. So there's, I get this store in Ladysmith, I believe, and they've taken like the Lucky Lager and they've done like Ladysmith Lager as
Okay.
like the Lucky Lager logo. Whatever. Well, then there's all these people that are commenting being like, well, do you own the copyrights for those logos? And then somebody else is like, oh yeah, like Labatt's is going to give you the copyright logos. Oh, you better take this down before you get sued.
There's actually lots of those going around.
There's a ton of them. Like I saw
Yeah.
another mug that was like, it wasn't Disney. I don't remember what brand it was, but it wasn't that big of a deal that it was like, I'm sure that Lucky Lager is not going to come after some small store in Ladysmith.
Well, they might. But
They
like,
might.
I've seen knockoff Lucky stuff before.
Me
like
too.
there's guys walking around with like Lucky Lager, like Logger. And that's not officially licensed.
Of course not. But it's like these people on Facebook that just think that they know everything about the law. And then they like, it's just this like little old lady who's trying to sell her fucking mugs.
Maybe she should come up with something original.
I mean, maybe she should. I just find it funny that you know, you get all these people that's like, oh, 40 comments on these mugs. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And then you read them all and they're all like, oh, well, I was reading about copyright law in Canada. And it's like, could you guys just go away?
How do you have time to do that?
Exactly. Like, that's the thing that I don't understand. So the other day we had somebody comment on one of our pictures from work and he said, those don't look like logs to me. Pack rim log structures, those look more like flat wall boards. Logs.
Where do you think that wood comes from?
I legitimately, like, I responded and I said, hi, Gary. Thanks so much for the comment. Well, our boards actually start as logs and then they're manufactured into prefabricated wall boards. And you know, when we were coming up with our company name, we just figured that Pack Rim Log Structures sounded better than Pack Rim Wood Board Structures. After all, that's where we came from.
Oh my
But if you
God.
want to learn more, you head to our website. Thank you.
Oh my
Like,
God.
fuck right
That
off.
is hilarious.
Why do you need to comment? Like, that's, you took time out of your day to comment to be like, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. I hate people.
I did some really good Facebook detective work today that
Tell
I
me
need to
more.
share. It was very involved. So
I'm very intrigued.
spoiler alert! I do this segment on our bald guy newsletter.
Whatever that place is that I
Bailey's
work.
has gone straight to my head. Wow.
How much did you even put in there? A shot?
I don't know. I didn't measure.
We Freeport. Who cares?
Anyway, so I do this neighborhood video once a month featuring a different neighborhood in Nanaimo. And I decided for December I was going to do North Jinglepot because...
I like North Jinglepot.
Well, I wanted to feature those Christmas lights at Savannah Place.
Yes, that's a great
are
idea.
Legendary. Everyone loves them.
They're awesome.
Everyone goes and checks it out every year. I was like, okay, that's why I'm going to do North Jinglepot. And then I had a thought. I vaguely remembered a house being listed on Savannah Place earlier this year.
Was it that house?
I looked up what was the address of the house. So I found, I went onto the Facebook group and I literally I'm in this Christmas light group.
Right.
So I just typed in Savannah just to see what
Yes.
comes up. And I noticed there's a post from the homeowners in 2019 and 2020, both around end of November saying Christmas lights are up. Come and check it out. 4:30
and
to
they
11.
haven't done it yet.
They hadn't done it. So I was like, oh shit. Okay. Plot thickens. Haven't seen it anywhere. So I
This is very
looked up
interesting.
Savannah Place in my little MLS and I'm like, sure enough, look up this address.
It's sold.
It sold. It sold. So I
Oh my
looked up
God.
who was the buyer's agent. And I messaged the buyer's agent and I was like, hey,
This is random, but-
question, but did you happen to sell blah, blah, blah Savannah Place earlier this year? And if you did, do you know if they're still planning on doing the Christmas decorations like the other years?
Because that must be a big,
Yeah.
like that must have been a big part of the sale of like, hey, just so you know, you're gonna have hundreds of cars
Totally.
coming by your house.
Totally.
So if you don't do this, like,
I was like, okay, so yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just please disregard this message.
I'm sure that you do.
And he responded within 5 minutes and he was like, yes, I did sell that house earlier this year. I don't think they're planning on doing it.
Oh, that's so sad.
Isn't that so sad?
You might actually have like a really big piece of information, just so you
I know. I know
because
that.
like there's a lot of people that go to that drive around just
Yeah.
to see Christmas lights, but B, go and check out that house.
Yes. So,
Oh, how
and I've
depressing.
been looking at Christmas light maps and there's like all this list of directions.
They have to still be on
Savannah
there.
Place is definitely still on there because
Yeah.
they compiled that list from other years.
Right.
And so, and it said like, you know, if you want to add yours to the map or if you're not on the map, or if you're not doing it,
message us.
Just let us know. We'll take you off the list. We'll add you to the list.
But if
blah,
you're
blah,
not
blah.
in that group, then you wouldn't know.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel so bad for the people that have bought that house because they're going to
Oh, there's
have
going to be tons of people.
There's going to be tons of
People are
people.
going to egg their house.
I was already thinking about that. I was thinking that they're probably gonna have people like knocking on their door and stuff. Like, I bet you they have to put up a sign that specifically says, "We are not the old owners. We will not have Christmas
They
lights
should just
up."
put a Grinch on their front lawn with
And
like a
everyone would
couple of
know.
like strands of bulbs trailing
Oh my god,
behind.
everyone would know.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Oh man, I wonder where the new people moved.
Well, I don't know.
You know what's interesting? Okay, I have so many things to say about this. First of all, they would have had to buy a lot of those Christmas lights specifically for their house.
Yes.
So like it's not like you can just use those necessarily again whenever you move, right? But secondly, remember how I was telling you about that house that I think they're in Parksville or Qualicum, and they have done this huge light display, and they have like a sleigh, and they want you to come in and like take pictures in the sleigh. I wonder if that's them.
You could write into the contract when you sell the house that the new buyers must maintain the Christmas decorations that
No
the community
way.
has expected.
Really?
Oh, you can write anything into
Oh my
a
god,
contract.
that's insane. So remember on Jingle Pot, but it's off the Jingle Pot that's off of Labio, that's by like
Yeah.
Mount Benson School. Remember there was a house there for so long that used to do like a huge Christmas light display, and now I mean they haven't done it the past few years. Really?
No, but same
You're not
thing
from
when
here.
I when I lived at my last house, there was, when I first moved in, this huge light display on the
that's right.
corner.
Yes.
And then they moved after a few years.
Yes, that's right. I do remember that. That was
That's
massive.
just so disappointing.
And remember the haunted house that was on Townsite as well, and that hasn't been there in a long time either.
No.
Oh, that might have been before your time. That was like before I was even in high school.
Okay.
There was a house on Townsite that used to do this insane haunted house.
Oh.
And people would line up like down the block to get in there. And you just walked through it, and he would have like stuff all throughout his yard, and then you'd get up to his house, and he'd have like, you know, like this whole morgue scene set up in his living room, and lights, and like people in the bushes. It was really awesome. And then I don't even know what happened to that.
Maybe he died.
He could have. I mean, that's just like, it's so nice when people do those kinds of things, but then it's so unfortunate when it's just gone and you don't know why, and you don't know if they've moved or any of that kind of stuff. Wow. What a lot for the new people to have to take on, though.
So now I want to do a different neighborhood. So if anyone knows, like, if anyone knows where, like, is the absolute best
Christmas
light display in Nanaimo, please DM me. And I've already done North Nanaimo, and I so regret it because I would have loved to have done Candy Cane Lane. Which is McGurk.
I love Candy Cane Lane. Yeah. You know, I was thinking about that the other day when I was driving through our neighborhood. It wouldn't be that hard just to get people, you know, all your neighbors on board with doing something like that. Yeah. And it does. It brings people to your neighborhood, which, I mean, sometimes I guess you don't really want that.
Not
but
that you need more traffic in this neighborhood.
We don't need more traffic in this neighborhood. There's been a car parked in front of the fire hydrant like every day for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, did you call bylaw?
No, I've been thinking about it, but I don't want to be a bitch.
Well, but
it drives me crazy. Don't park in front of the fire hydrant.
No, you can't park in front of a fire hydrant. You dumb.
It's like I'm the only considerate person. I have to talk about this story. This just reminded me. I already told you this story, but I haven't told our listeners.
I'll pretend this is the first time I'm hearing it.
Okay. So on the weekend, Jeremy and I decided to go to Kingfisher. We had it booked for a really long time. And it was great. We really enjoyed it. If you've never been to the Kingfisher, I definitely highly recommend it. First of all, the staff is really, really great. The rooms are beautiful. We had the romance suite right on the ocean. You can't, it feels like you're not even around anybody else. We have a jacuzzi in your room. It was really quite nice.
You should have told them you were on your honeymoon.
I actually think that I did.
Okay.
I think I told them like, oh, we just got married, so this is like our mini honeymoon. There was nothing in the room. There was no champagne.
Well, that's bullshit.
There was no rose petals. There was nothing. I was kind of expecting that and slightly disappointed when I got there. Anyways, so in the morning, we ordered breakfast, which, by the way, we split French toast and a smoothie, and it was $50. So it is really expensive. I will say that. We had gift cards, so, thank God, because otherwise it would have been difficult. Anyways, then we decided to go for the hydrotherapy, and that's why a lot of people go to Kingfisher is for the hydrotherapy, and even if you just go just to do that and you don't even stay there, it's completely worth it. I didn't realize this, but they have it. It's all decorated or set up like caves, like a grotto.
Okay, yeah.
So, which I know Tinamera is kind of similar to that, like where their pools are. So when you walk in, there's all these showers, and it's like you're in a whole little cave, and you have your own little shower. Then you move along and you go into this mineral tub, and you feel like you're surrounded in a cave, and there's like a rain waterfall and plants everywhere, and driftwood all across the ceiling to make it seem like you're in these secret little caves.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. So I'm really glad that we did that. It was fantastic. Well, while we were there, little did we know, we get back to the room at 11:45. We've just been taking our time. We get back to the room, and Jeremy's phone is going crazy with all these notifications at our house. My Facebook Messenger is going nuts because my neighbors are messaging me going, hey, is everything okay? There's police at your house.
Oh my
gosh.
I'm
like, what? So we look at the cameras. There's 2 ambulances and 3 police cars at our house. And so we're like, oh my God, what is going on? So I log into the doorbell because that's the only way that I can talk to anybody there. And they're like, I guess they were almost going to bust the door in because a medical alarm had been triggered at our house, and nobody answered the door. Nobody answered the phone calls from the security company because Jeremy and I were at the hydrotherapy. So I guess my nanny had come to feed my cat, came in the door, and I guess the alarm, she didn't realize that the alarm was on. So I think she maybe either tried to disarm it or just didn't really recognize what was going on. Goes to feed the cat, and then the alarm starts going off. And when the alarm goes off, it's not like a siren. It's like a very, very high pitched sound that drives your mind insane. So I think she must have come down the stairs and then tried to disarm it. And I don't know if she if she didn't get it in time, or she accidentally hit the medical alert button at the
'cause I'm
same
like,
time.
How did it think it was a medical
I think
alert?
she hit the medical alert button because
my
it
God.
shows that it was disarmed, but then, you know, there's like an ambulance, a fire, and a police all at the bottom. So I think maybe she accidentally hit one of those.
Oh my God.
So then the security company calls us and we don't answer. So then the ambulance calls us and we don't answer.
Oh my God.
So then they send these police cars and these ambulances over. And so I guess when the police got here, our Fresh Prep bags were sitting outside because I was leaving them for Sunday morning when my Fresh Prep comes. So the cops get there and they're like, one car in the driveway, Fresh Prep outside, no one's answering the door, medical alert, there's probably somebody in there that needs assistance.
Oh no.
So then I guess they like climbed over the fence, went around the back, couldn't see anything in the house, you know, talked to our tenants and the tenants didn't know anything. So then they were like prepared to go through the door. And then we came through the doorbell and we're like, everything's fine. I'm very sorry to waste your time. Everything's good. So then because they're like, well, you need to call your grandmother and just make sure that she's not in the house, like, and make sure that nothing's wrong. So I call my nanny and then I couldn't get back through the doorbell. So I had to call my neighbor and get them to come over and talk to the police
Oh my
for
God.
me through their phone. Like, it was just such a fucking shit show for no reason. So of course we had this lovely, like, relaxing hydrotherapy, get back to the room and we're like so stressed.
Oh my God. This story is stressing me out.
I'm hot thinking about it. So anyways, the hydrotherapy is great. Maybe make sure you leave before you leave your house for 2 days that your grandmother knows how to work your alarm system. But other than that, Kingfisher was awesome. Food's really good. Hydrotherapy is great. I would highly recommend.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Should we talk about Selling Sunset?
We should.
Just, if you haven't watched it, then just stop listening right now. And I'm sorry, but if you haven't watched it by now, like, you are so missing out. This was a very good, it was good. This was a good season compared to the other ones.
I will say I enjoyed this season a lot more than the other seasons.
Yes.
But I'm not a big fan of the show overall.
I mean, there's a lot of talk about this season being heavily staged.
It's all heavily staged.
Yes, but it seems more so compared to previous seasons. So, you know, it just came out on the 24th. We've got some new cast members, Vanessa and Emma. While Vanessa is very, very sweet and lovely, I kept like yelling at the TV, being like, why are you getting so involved in this? Like, why do you keep wanting Christine to be friends with those girls?
Because otherwise, Christine isn't on the show.
That's true. I guess
there
she
needs
wouldn't
to
have been
be
involved.
some sort of a link
That's
to
fair.
Christine and the other girls.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Especially because she doesn't really work there.
Well, I was also going to bring up, if you look at her Instagram now, it's all modeling stuff.
Yeah, she doesn't have a real estate license.
Right. So obviously when, you know, a lot of the thread that they talk about throughout the season is Christine had her baby. When is she coming back? You know, Emma comes in to step in because they're really busy and they need to make sales. And so Emma takes over Christine's desk. Well, if Christine comes back, you know, Emma should give her back her desk. And it's like, but Christine's not a real estate agent.
No.
So why would a real estate agent,
But
Emma, give up her desk for somebody who can't sell the house anyways?
She plays one on TV.
But see, Jeremy and I were talking about this the other day, though. So then what does Christine do? Is she just an admin assistant then?
No, she's nothing.
She's nothing. She just
pretends that she works there for the TV.
I see. Okay. So she's not actually like an employee or real estate or any of that kind of stuff.
No, but I think she must have been before, years ago, because there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and like things that happened years ago. And that was way before they had a show.
Right. Okay.
So she must
maybe
have.
she had her license at one point.
have.
Never. Do you have to renew it or do you have it for life? Okay. So maybe she just didn't renew it. It wasn't her thing because she's doing a lot of modeling now.
That's all she
which is
does.
great. But okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So who of the other girls are not real estate agents?
I'm not 100% sure. I've definitely seen some TikTok videos, not recently, but like after season 3 aired, I saw a lot of people trying to figure out who has the real estate license because
Mary, Chriselle, Vanessa those are really the only ones that, and Maya, that talk about houses going into escrow, houses having offers. Like Heather never talks about, well, she does a little bit.
I think Heather has her license, because that would also be very smart if, if her husband Tarek is a flipper, then it makes sense for her to have a real estate license.
That's true.
Mary has her real estate license, but it's just like in BC where you can look up a licensee.
Right.
Anyone in the general public can look up on a website who has their license and what's their license number and stuff like that.
Right.
So especially Davina, who claims to have her broker's license.
Right.
She doesn't have a real estate license.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Let alone a broker's license.
Well, and especially because she's talking about how, she comes back to the brokerage and she was talking about how, my project wrapped up like with that development and everything. And it's like, well, what were you doing being part of development so I guess like you were selling all of the development? Like she doesn't really clarify exactly what she's doing.
She was doing.
Okay, that's really interesting. I can't believe that they brought Davina back.
I know, and everyone's pissed.
Well, okay, so they talk about bringing Davina back, and all the girls are kind of like, everything's so positive right now.
I think once again, Christine needed a friend.
Well, that's what I think that you're probably right.
Because Christine's a big part of the show, but she's alienated all of the other girls. So how is she going to be on the show if she's not friends with anyone?
That's true. That's a very, very good point. I like how, and they even called Davina out a little bit on this about how her style's changed, how she's trying to seem like a little bit more innocent now.
Right.
She looks like she's lost weight. Like she looks really good. She did look good before, but she definitely looks, she looks a bit more like mature now in a way, but
younger.
Innocent. Like, yeah, it's really weird. She does look younger, actually. That's very true. And I don't know, it's just kind of like she carries herself differently. Yeah. But I'm proud of her in a way of like kind of holding herself a little bit accountable, like apologizing to Chrishell and really coming out with it, because in previous seasons she's just been very like, this is who I am, I don't care. You know?
Well, social media does kind of let you know.
It's very true.
And you kind of have to get on the viewer's side. And
yeah, it's true.
I think people have realized that Chrishell is like the star of the show, and it's
she's not going anywhere. No. Plus now she's dating Jason, so she's really not going anywhere.
Which I'm interested to see next season how that plays out, because I wonder if Mary's going to be upset about that.
I mean, they're really good friends. I saw a TikTok the other day of them, of Chrishell and Mary like working out together.
Oh, okay.
And that they were getting ready for the new season, they said. So season 5 just wrapped. And I believe that Chrishell and Jason started dating shortly after season 4 wrapped. So I would assume that we'll see that.
I heard that maybe they even started dating before.
I think that they did, because there's little things that you can kind of sense just at how Chrishell doesn't respond to certain things, or just kind of her body language with certain things. I thought that maybe that was going to come out at the very end of the season, but it didn't. But if you look through like Mary and Chrishell's Instagram, they have a lot of pictures with each other, like Mary and Romaine and Chrishell and Jason. So like they went to Greece with each other,
right?
So I would say that Mary doesn't really care.
Yeah, or maybe, I wasn't sure, because they have
maybe they dealt with it.
Mary and Jason have a very good relationship.
Right.
Obviously, like Mary's married to Romaine.
Totally.
And I didn't really think she would have, I don't know. It's just like,
I know what you mean. I mean, it's weird.
Well, your friend's ex,
exactly. Especially somebody who, like, I mean, Mary and Jason, like they had a long-term relationship. I mean, they have dogs with each other, So yeah, but I mean, I think maybe it sounds like Mary's kind of getting to a point a little bit now too, where she's starting to let kind of a lot of that drama and stuff go, and she's not feeding into it as much anymore. I was happy that that Mary confronted Christine at that final party, but I don't think enough was said, like enough value stuff was said. I thought it was kind of weird how Christine kept saying things like, I don't want to talk about this right now. Like, I don't want to talk about this here. So obviously there's other stuff she doesn't want to say on camera. And then how Mary's like, you never got engaged. Like, you never said anything to anybody. Why would, like, knowing Christine, she would have told the fucking world, right? And then how Christine was like, I didn't live with you then.
Yeah.
And Mary's like,
didn't make
yes,
sense.
you did. We lived here. And she's like, no, Mary. Like, no, we didn't live with each other. It's like, that's weird. Like, what a weird thing to
Doesn't
lie
make
about
sense.
then.
So did you hear who the guy was that Christine was supposedly engaged to?
No.
I don't remember his name, but somebody did a deep dive on him on TikTok. I'm getting all these fucking Selling
Stuff from
Sunset
TikTok.
videos on TikTok.
I want more Selling Sunset stuff on TikTok.
Just use mine.
Okay.
So this guy, he's 6'11". He was a basketball player. He played for the Lakers. And
Really?
yeah, there's a paparazzi photo of him with Chris Humphries and Kim Kardashian and Kris
Really?
Jenner. Yeah. So, and he's even taller than Chris Humphries.
6'11"?
6'11".
Jesus.
And I think in the show at one point they're like, "What did we see in him?" Well, he was really tall.
Okay.
So anyway, he retired from basketball, and then he started working for the Oppenheim Group.
Oh.
As a real estate agent in
that
their
makes
sports and
sense, because
entertainment division.
They did make some kind of comment at one point in the show about something to do with work and him or whatever, and I kind of thought it was weird, and I didn't quite get the reference.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
The Oppenheim Group is a much, much bigger company than what they show on TV.
Yeah.
There's many, many, many agents, and that's the other thing. You can go on the Oppenheim Group's website and see who their agents are.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't realize that they also had an Newport division either, and that they have other agents that are already working there. What I also learned on Instagram the other day is that there's a Selling Atlanta.
Selling Tampa.
Selling Tampa. Thank you.
Yes. That is a new series that's coming out.
Yeah, and there's also going to be a Selling OC.
Oh.
And so the agents that are at the Newport office are
Right.
going to be on there, and then they were also talking about
Oh, right. Because they had them at that party. And I
Right.
said to Kurt when we were watching it, I'm like, these guys are going to be on a spin-off. Why else would they be
100%.
showing them?
Exactly. And they're young and they're beautiful.
Yeah,
and like that
yeah.
one girl that was like, oh, spicy, spice. It's like, okay, you're going to be a villain. I can already see that. But I was reading an article about there was kind of rumors about whether Heather was going to move on to that show or kind of do both, because she
Right.
sells a lot in Newport, I guess.
Right.
So have you also heard the rumors about Christine not being pregnant?
Yes, I have heard those rumors. I
So-
think that's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a TikTok about it, and then I read a whole bunch of articles about it. And there's a lot of people that are really pissed off about the rumors because they're saying that they're very like sexist, offensive rumors. Which I totally agree with. I don't think that she wasn't pregnant.
I agree.
But I do think it's interesting how they commonly use this thread throughout the entire season of like wow, Christine, you look so good. You've lost so much weight, like, or whatever, like you bounce right back after the
Yeah.
baby. And a lot
She
of
didn't gain any weight.
well, that's true. That's true. But a lot of people were talking about how, like, postpartum for a lot of people is really, really difficult.
Yeah.
And so she talks about having such a traumatic, horrific pregnancy where she almost died. And then, a week later, she's like, no problem, going back to yoga. And so
Yeah.
a lot of people are upset because it really gives like a falsified
100%.
version of a lot of postpartum situations
That's true. And
for
especially
people.
a C-section, you have to wait even longer to start exercising after a
Right.
C-section because it can be really hard on your body.
Right.
Especially because they have to cut through all your muscles.
Yes.
So
That's the one part that I like kind of have a hard time with too, because there you see so much of this in the media, social media, TV shows, everything about this kind of like false version of reality. And so it's unfortunate that you have a platform to show people, a strong woman and a strong businesswoman, and then you kind of make it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal, yet you're crying and telling your friends how horrible it was.
Yeah.
And then on the other token, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because there are a lot of people that don't have that.
Oh, totally.
Reality.
Well, I was watching Vanderpump Rules yesterday, and Sheena and Lala both just had a baby pretty
Right.
much at the exact same time. And it shows Sheena struggling with her weight, and she doesn't feel sexy, and none of her clothes fit, and she's like she's just basically struggling like a lot of women do. And then
Yeah.
there's Lala, who doesn't even look like she had a baby.
She doesn't look
No.
like she-
And
yeah.
so they go to a Pilates class. And Sheena's there, and she's like, okay, so like I just got the okay that I can start working out again. I'm just trying to lose this baby weight. And the Pilates instructor's like, oh, okay, great. And then to Lala, she goes, oh, and Lala, you just had a baby too? And she's like, yeah. She goes, oh, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
see,
that is
that's
so rude.
Totally.
To say that in front of Sheena.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's the only hard thing about those kinds of situations is that like it romanticizes it,
Yeah.
right? And it makes it seem like it's okay for this person but not okay for this person, right? So I feel bad that those rumors are happening because Christine already gets so much bad press as it is, and bad drama and all that kind of stuff. I mean, she brings a lot of it upon herself.
Totally, but
I feel bad for her in this situation, but it really pissed me off a lot throughout this whole season about the things she'd say. She totally just plays a victim constantly.
Yeah, she does.
And doesn't hold herself accountable for any of the things that she does. Well, I just want to move past this. Okay, well then stop doing what you're doing.
yeah.
I like Emma. I'm kind of intrigued about Emma.
Yeah, she hasn't been on very much.
No, I know, but like I think it's funny how Christine's like, I don't want to go back to the office. Like the girls are all so negative, and all the other girls are like, everything's so great now that the negative person isn't here. Like everything's going so well because there isn't drama.
I saw a video on TikTok about Emma the other day too. With her empanada business.
Oh, yeah.
And people were saying it's a front for money laundering. Because, like, look at them. They just look like gross.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if I've had an empanada.
I don't even know what an empanada is.
I think it's like a... I'm not even going to go here because I don't even know. I was going to say, I think it's kind of like a pita pocket, but I don't know.
I think it's kind of like a pita pocket.
But
Kind
like
of.
but like a nicer version of that.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I mean, I don't really get what her business is. Like, so she just makes empanadas, like, but they're healthy empanadas. I don't really know. Well, she has like a cheeseburger empanada.
It's confusing.
So I don't know.
Maybe it is a front. Who knows?
I don't know. I think a lot of things are fronts for money laundering, to be honest.
I agree with you.
Anyways, we just know everything.
We
the
also
best.
know
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
So true. Anyways, Selling Sunset was very good in my opinion. I already want to watch the season over again. I thought it was well done, and I'm really excited for season 5 to come out. Did you watch The Bachelorette last night?
I
did not,
like
so.
half of it, and honestly, at one point, I looked over to Kurt and I'm like, "Do you care about this at all?" He's like, "Not really." No. And also, like,
I love that.
I watched it like an hour after it had aired, and I had already seen a spoiler on people.com that just came up on my phone, and I'm like, oh, I guess I know who goes home. So,
okay, well, that sucks.
I don't care.
I usually skip through like the really sappy parts where they're like talking with their feelings. I'm like, I just don't really care.
But I will say,
I skip over that.
Excuse me, last week after Colton was kicked off,
yes,
or asked to leave, Clayton. I said to Kurt, he's going to be the next Bachelor, because I'm like, look at the way he left. So nice. They painted him in such a good light with those kids.
Oh, and he's crying, and he just wants to find love. And now he is the new Bachelor.
I was like, they were setting that up from day one.
I didn't. Well, you texted me about it. I only watched the episode 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So you texted me about it and told me. And then when I saw that whole scene and when he left and everything, I was like, this makes perfect
100%.
sense.
And then
he's crying. He's like, I just really want to find love. And I'm like, okay, here it goes.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time.
You will. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yep.
I did feel bad for him because he was so upset, but I don't think that they were right for each other anyways.
No.
So I thought it was really cute that she took Brandon home to her house, and then her parents show up, which
he was wearing her dad's bathing suit.
I know.
That's weird.
I know. I think that Michelle knew that they were going to be coming home.
Oh, 100%.
But she kind of was like, oh my God, this is so surprising. But
okay. if you want to talk about a show that's staged just as much as Selling Sunset, it's The Bachelor.
The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, for sure. It's so good, though. I don't know. I kind of think she might choose Brandon. Because she was talking about how, like, they're best friends and, you know, her parents have already met him and he just seems so sweet and they just seem like they have a really good connection. I think it might happen.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I have not watched the episode, but I can already think I know who went home.
Oh, I already know who went
last
home.
night. I know.
Well, yeah, obviously. So I didn't even watch it. But
I'm going to watch it tonight, but I'm not going to be surprised when this person does go home.
You do know.
Yeah, okay.
Who goes home.
That answers my question right there. That's so funny. Okay. I just want to talk about my work for just like a little bit. So I've talked a lot about how I've got like a whole bunch of containers that we've ordered and have been taking out forever to come in. So over the past couple of weeks, they've all started to arrive into Vancouver, but you know, Vancouver is very backed up like anything. And then B, there's a lot of customs issues that I'm dealing with. And because we're bringing in different product from different suppliers, not all of the suppliers have the right requirements that are needed for import. So I've been learning a lot throughout this whole process about, you know, what's actually required, the documentation that's required, what to do when you don't have the right stuff. So for instance, I have one container that landed at the end of October and it took me about a month to figure out that they weren't going to clear customs.
Right.
So now I have to send it back, which is a huge process that I've never dealt with before. And so of course it's been taking me a couple weeks now to actually get it sent back and rebook it on a vessel. Well, there's no vessels that have room and I have to use a freight forwarder and they need this done. And it's a huge process and we have to pay every day that the container sits there until it's rebooked.
Oh my God.
So they keep canceling the booking so that I keep having to pay until they rebook it. It's a huge process. So that I've been learning about that. I had 2 more containers that are from a different supplier in Lithuania and the documentation that they gave me wasn't correct. So I had to go back to them and ask them to fix it. Then they sent it back to us in Lithuanian, not in English. So then I have to get them to fix
that.
that.
My God.
And then they keep telling me, well, it's fine. These are globally recognized. And I keep saying, okay, well, my CBSA is not recognizing it. It has to be in English or French. So I just need it fixed. Oh, well, our agricultural board is saying that it should be recognized. Okay, well, the government here is not. So I just need you to fix it.
Oh my God.
Finally get those cleared. Oh, well, now I've got a couple other ones that are cleared, but because there's so many containers at the port, they can't pick them up. So they get moved to a different depot, but then they can't access the containers because there's other containers in front of them.
Oh my God.
So the trucks can't get to them. So I have to pay for them to sit there even though I can't access them. So then I get charged hundreds of dollars per day for this kind of stuff. Well, then we finally get to go pick it up. Oh, well, the steamship line has a hold on it because of this reason. So then I have to get that figured out. So I have 7 containers that have landed in the last 3 weeks that I've had problems with. Every single one of them I've had to deal with. Finally get them here. I got the last one here this morning. We've unloaded everything. I have 150 kits now all over our yard. We're just putting them anywhere right now because we just don't have enough room for them. So then normally what happens is we empty out a container and we call our trucking. They go and pick it up. They bring it back to the port. No problem. Well, because the port doesn't have any room for them, they won't accept the containers back now. So then they say, oh, we'll bring it over there and we're going to charge you for it to sit there because we don't have room for you to bring it back to us. Oh, it's ridiculous. So it's just all these things that I'm learning that I've never dealt with before. And I'm learning it as I go because A, it's just completely unprecedented with what's going on.
Yeah.
And B, like I've never had this many containers show up at one time before. So there's just like, I've been pulling my hair out over the last 3 weeks of all these new things. And of course, every time, you know, you get a hiccup, it's like, oh, we'll call this government department. Oh, we don't deal with that. You need to call so-and-so. What? Why'd so-and-so send you over here? No. Call this number. Oh, you don't have your transaction number? We can't help you.
Oh my God.
Call so-and-so and get that. They just keep passing you around. And then you have to keep telling the same story over and over and over again. And you're getting more and more frustrated every single time. It's been ridiculous.
Ugh.
But I'm very happy to say we finally have gotten all of our product and we can finally start like shipping it out, getting paid for this stuff, assembling them for customers. Like we have stuff that was supposed to be here in June.
Yeah.
And it's just getting here now. You know, like it's just been so frustrating, but it's a very relieving feeling that it's finally here.
Yeah.
And now I've learned so much in the last 6 months that we now can use that for going forward so that we don't make those mistakes again.
Yeah, that's great.
And we're ahead of it, you know? But it's just like, it's so hard not to like throw your hands up in the air sometimes and go, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
But you have to, you know, because in order to keep the business going, you have to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's been a lot. I'm just like, we get a week off between Christmas and I'm so excited. Yeah. So that's just been my life.
Wow. That's a lot.
It is a lot, but it's fun and I enjoy it and I'm learning a lot, and it's learning a lot about, you know, growing your own business and policies and procedures and all that kind of stuff. And who would have thought that we'd be here? I never would have expected, you know, a year and a half ago when COVID first started that this would still be going on.
I never thought I would utter words like supply chain.
I know.
And stuff like that.
Well, that's the thing is this stuff used to come in and it was so easy and we never really had any issues.
Yeah.
And so all of these things now that I'm dealing with, it's frustrating because, you know, you get met with this problem and you try to fix it, and the people that help you, like your customs brokers, are like, why don't you know this? It's like, well, because I don't know. I've never dealt with it before.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought that you'd help me with. Oh no, you need this. Okay, well, that's good to know, you know? And so like every single day it's like, I'm just making a list of all the new things that I learned. I never thought that I would have to be involved with this kind of stuff. Yeah. I was looking up the chemical properties of a fumigation chemical the other day because I needed to know, like I never would have thought that I'd have to be aware of that. So I know I'm kind of like interested to see what happens with this new variant now, because they say that the new variant is more contagious but not as deadly. Like your symptoms aren't as bad. So they say it might actually be a good thing because it might help us get to herd immunity faster.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
That is interesting. I don't know what to think. I mean, it's a virus. Viruses mutate.
Exactly.
So
just like
always,
the flu.
There's always going to be a new variant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
just
never
like the
going
flu.
to stop.
No, but it's like at what point then do we accept that and start going back to normal?
I don't know, because it's like, okay, we were, you know, travel restrictions were being lifted, different things were being lifted, and then it was like, oh, tighten up the borders.
And now we're
travel
right back
restrictions
to that. Yeah.
Because of a new variant. But it's like, what is the right answer? I don't know.
I know. And so this is like frustrating. Jeremy and I were talking about this the other day because a lot of Europe right now is in lockdown, and Europe's really, really bad. Their cases are very, very high.
Yes.
And we're really concerned because we're supposed to be going there in 5 months.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, so what do we do? Do I keep booking stuff and keep like paying for things and then wait and see what happens and cancel a couple weeks before?
I don't know.
I mean, or do we decide to postpone it? Do we decide to go somewhere else? Well, everywhere else is having problems too. Where else do you go? We were talking about maybe going to Japan, but they are complete lockdown, no foreign visitors.
Right.
Maybe we'll open in March or April. Who knows? We just have to wait and see, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's so hard to feel like there's an end in sight because it just feels like there's always something new that's coming out. And there's no information because nobody knows. There's no way to, well, there is ways to predict it, but of course they don't tell anybody that kind of stuff because they don't want people to panic. Right? So it's just nuts. This whole year is just insane.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about it.
I know. I'm looking forward to 2022 in the hopes that it brings something new, whatever that looks like. I hope it's not anything bad.
I know.
But
I've
like,
been really looking forward to 2022.
Me too. I'm really excited
I started
about it.
writing all my goals. I'm prepared.
Good for you. Oh, that's so exciting. And then we're going to do our 75 hard challenge as well. So I'm trying to look up a little bit more about it, and just because I find everything I kind of read has a little bit of a different idea of what it's supposed to be. So I honestly think we need to just decide what it means for the both of us.
Right. And we
do
stick
that.
to those rules.
Exactly.
Because I think the thing is, it's more about mental toughness and you sticking to your plan.
Willpower and having a habit and creating a goal. I agree. So we just determine what that looks like. Mm-hmm. I definitely think that reducing the screen time is a good idea.
I think so too, because I think that's the source of most people's anxiety.
Me too.
Certainly mine.
Yeah, me too. I also find, I don't know if this is the screen, but I find that by 8 or 9 o'clock, like my brain is just so tired.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I look at a computer all day, and then you make dinner, and then you're on your phone and you're watching TV, and I think that just my brain is like overstimulated at that point.
I agree.
Right?
It's not normal.
It's not
to
normal
be on a screen
exactly
like that. It's just not.
Yep, I completely agree. So I definitely think we need to add that in there, and then use that time to be doing other things like painting or embroidery or whatever. Those are the things that I like to do.
Yeah.
Pick up my hobbies that I start and then completely stop.
Cleaning and
that too.
Doing laundry. And
that's what it was that I was going to tell you. Was I was thinking of something like having a list of chores, and you have to complete 1 or 2 chores every day. Like you have to complete 1 chore every day. So whatever that chore is, you have to complete it. And so then hopefully you just get into a routine. Like I've been watching cleaning TikToks of people that have like a checklist of on Thursdays, they wipe the baseboards, wipe the walls, take out the garbage, whatever. And I was like, well, that's actually a really good idea.
But do they have jobs? I don't mean that in like a bad way, but like,
okay, so
I don't have time to scrub my baseboards once a week or whatever.
This is the thing. It's like, okay, on Saturdays or Sundays are usually the day where I'll like do a full tidy up, kitchen clean, vacuum, maybe twice a month. I don't know if that's enough, but twice a month I'll do my bathrooms. I wash my bedding every week, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But these TikToks are showing like, well, on Mondays, if you always pick Mondays as your day to do baseboards, then you'll never have to worry about doing it because you always do them once a week.
Right.
But that's kind of my thing. I was like, that's like a lot of things to do once a week. But then it also brings back to like, you do have time to do it because like after dinner, I mean, really, like you watch TV and blah, blah, blah. You do have time to do it. But at the same time, I'm not going to get this quote right, but it's like, it's not necessarily that you don't have time. It's that you won't make the time for those things because you need to also like decompress, spend time with your loved ones, like, relax a little bit. And so it's like, it's when I say I don't have time, I do physically have the time. It's just that I can't set aside my mental capacity for that time.
I would rather watch Real Housewives.
Exactly.
Yep.
So then, but then like, I don't think I've ever done my baseboards.
Really?
No.
I do it like I would
maybe
say
before my mother-in-law's coming over, but like other than that,
I do like a deep clean. I would say like once every 6 months.
I should probably
do that. And that includes
that.
like baseboards. And I have
I'm bad for not doing the baseboards.
I like a checklist. So I have a cleaning list that is so thorough.
I need that.
That like you would never miss a thing.
See, I need that.
And then I have an extra cleaning list of things that are not like cleaning your house, like washing my hair extensions, washing my makeup brushes. That's what I did yesterday. My house is a pigsty right now, but I was like, you know what? I need to wash my hair extensions. Spoiler alert, I wear hair extensions. I'm not right now.
Spoiler alert.
I'm just not. But I washed my hair extensions. I washed all my makeup brushes. I washed my beauty blenders. And that's what I did. My house is still a mess, but
I like that.
Those are just things that I never make time for.
That's my
makeup brushes once a week.
Once a week, I know.
I never wash them.
Okay, but my thing is like, 1 week blurs into the next week. So like half of the time I'm like, when was the last time that I did that? I definitely need to get better at doing that because I'm like once a month, once every like 6 weeks maybe.
I'm like way less than that. I never wash my makeup brushes.
Probably less than that too. I'm really bad for that kind of stuff. And so I need a checklist to actually keep myself accountable and doing it on a regular basis. It's like, it's the 15th of the month. I have to do this.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that long. It's like the thought of doing it just feels like it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
So you need to share this checklist with me.
I will.
My mother-in-law, Janice, told me that when she was like first married, her mother-in-law used to come to her house with like a white glove and like touch the mantle, touch the windowsills, like things like that. So she was always so like anal about that kind of stuff. And so then I always think about that I'm like, I hope that no one does that with my,
So she's like,
I hate dusting. I never do it. I hate it.
Oh,
I don't know.
I like it.
Really?
That's like the easiest thing to do.
I don't know. I guess I just have like a lot of things that could have dust on them.
Yeah.
Maybe I need less things.
You need like a Swiffer duster.
I do need a Swiffer duster.
It just makes it so easy.
Well, my grandparents and I were talking about this because my grandma's like, oh, I dust like 3 times a week. And she's like, but I'm also retired and I don't have anything else to do.
If you don't have to go to work, it's very easy.
My house would be fucking spotless.
Same.
I know. So that's how I feel about it too, is like, I know that my house would be very clean and organized if I didn't work. But like I do. And so it's challenging for me.
But I mean, I keep seeing this meme over and over again where it's like, you know, back in the day when the women would like make dinner and clean the house.
Yeah.
They didn't have to work.
Right.
So having your house clean and having dinner on the table
and raising your kids
and having a 40-hour work week is not.
It wasn't supposed to be like that.
No, one person is supposed to go to work and one person's supposed to maintain the household.
Exactly.
Not supposed to.
No, but that is traditionally how it was set up.
Exactly. So don't feel bad that you don't have time to clean your house and you know your kids are not
running around or whatever. Yeah.
Not taking a bath or whatever. Like just don't be so hard on yourself.
No, because you're completely right. I watched a video that was, I think, like a commercial from the 60s kind of thing. And that's basically what it was talking about, is how, you know, women are heading back into the workplace. And so it's a man's job to now be starting to take over a lot of those responsibilities. Because you're right. How are you both supposed to work a 40+ hour work week and then also have a spotless house, raise your kids, have time for your friends, have dinner on the table?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you know, and like meal prep and all of these different things, and still be like a great friend and in your community and on the pack and taking your kids to sports. I mean, how are you supposed to do all of, and then still have time for yourself?
Yeah,
you know,
it's not possible.
No, and so then you start to lose yourself. And so then this is where a lot of people really believe in these 4-day work weeks and 3-day weekends, which a lot of countries around the world are starting to do. And there are also a lot of companies, big companies now, that are thinking about doing that. And they're noticing that they're actually getting more work done because their employees are more productive during those days that they're working because they're getting more time off.
Not having to leave to go to appointments.
Exactly. Yeah. So it definitely is something that, you know, makes a lot of sense. It can be hard in all industries, of course. But I definitely am a huge proponent for that kind of stuff because I do think it makes a lot of sense. I think Microsoft is thinking about doing that.
Oh yeah, probably.
You know, they also have been noticing a lot of these companies that have been giving that like 1 week mental health week that's paid for their employees. I think Zoom did that, and oh shoot, another company that we use, our phone systems, maybe, I don't remember, but they did that, and they were noticing how much productivity it actually helped because their employees felt like their needs were recognized and they had a mental health week off and they could spend time with their families and it was paid and all this kind of stuff, right? So I definitely think that you know, society, everything needs to change a little bit. There needs to be a shift. Because this whole 40-hour work week for both parents and then trying to keep up this lifestyle just is not going to make sense. It doesn't work, you know? And that's not how it was always supposed to be. But nothing ever changed. When women went back to the workplace, nothing ever changed. Which is crazy.
I know. Anyway, I feel like this is a very long
episode. I harp on society all the time. This is a long episode. You know what? It's an hour and 8 minutes. Okay,
it's not that long.
We've been doing some 43-minuters. We can do some.
This is a longer one.
It's fine. We can basically wrap it up. I'm tired. Yeah. I'm done. I'm over.
You're tired now.
I'm tired. I'm done. It's almost 7 p.m. Speaking of making dinner for your husband, I'm going to have to make dinner for my husband before he goes to hockey. Or maybe he's already eaten. I don't even know. He just sits out there while we record in here. It's great.
Probably got his ear pressed to the door.
Listening.
Because of all the shit we're talking about him.
Jeremy, we're talking so much shit about you. Oh my God. I wonder if you guys could hear that. He just swore back at us.
was
That's
very rude.
That was, I don't even know what he said.
No, I don't know.
Anyways, this has been lovely. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. Please go follow us on Instagram,
TikTok,
not Facebook,
YouTube, not Facebook.
No.
Also, just a little thing I just want to squeeze in there. We may have a surprise guest next week. Ooh, but I can't tell you who it is.
Okay, that's very exciting.
Oh, I know. So make sure you check us out. And yeah, thanks for listening. Okay, bye.